Hello everybody, we are here today to discuss and analyze Andrei Tarkovsky's sci-fi epic, Solaris, and some of the major concepts it brings forth. From the skepticism of reality to its exploration of dreams and memories, Tarkovsky asks us to think about what we are seeing on screen, that is, if we can remember to. One major question we will be addressing today is, does the film Solaris take place in reality or in some alternate dream world? Three main points to discuss when asking this question are: first, Solaris turning memories into physical constructs; two, does this make those memories real? And three, if these memories are real, how can we differentiate between what is a memory and what is reality? Let's first look at Chris Kelvin's arrival to the Solaris space station. Not too long after he boards the ship, Chris is confronted by the lifelike memory of his deceased wife. She starts to communicate with him and seems to know who he is, but can't remember much else. For example, how she died. We can ask the question of whether or not it is Solaris that is generating these memories or Chris himself. Chris is so frightened by the realism of her physical being that he uses an escape pod to launch her into space. Things begin to get crazy when Chris goes to bed that night and his wife reappears in her same physical state. She continues to return each day as her memory gradually improves. A memory remembering how to remember? Perhaps Tarkovsky really was trying to outdo Stanley Kubrick. The other men on the ship are visited by memories as well, much like Chris. So under what circumstances are these memories classified as being, quote, real? Are these memories on Solaris any more real than those that exist on Earth? If your answer is yes, why? Let's examine Burton's claims at the beginning of the film. After returning from a trip to Solaris, Burton explains to Russian scientists about seeing a child that was 4 meters tall in the oceans of Solaris. His claims are immediately dismissed. However, in a later conversation with Chris, just before his departure to Solaris, Burton tells him that he later saw the exact same child after returning to Earth. He was the child of a scientist who died on an exploration mission on Solaris. What does this tell us? How can this be? Was the child just another physical construct of his father's memory? Did Burton see the child in the past and not remember it? Or is Tarkovsky hinting at the eternal aspects of memories, that they exist not only in the past but also in the future? After all, is this not what happens with Chris Kelvin on board the Solaris space station? He has only the past memory of his wife before her suicide, but is then greeted again by her in the future. Finally, is there any way for us to differentiate between reality and memory? For this, let's examine the mysterious highway sequence. Burton becomes a viewer as he rides through the futuristic city. Even though he's back on Earth and back in reality, all he seems to be focusing on are his memories. I think Tarkovsky is taking the time here for not only Burton to think about the true nature of his reality in comparison with his memories, but he wants us to take that time as well. Solaris appears to perhaps be a memory of its own. How can we be sure of the reality of anything if it's all based on what we remember it as being? How can we be for certain of the last thing we did if it's only what we remember doing? What makes our memories so trustworthy to define what our realities are when we aren't even sure if memories are real themselves? This is what Tarkovsky proposes.